a surprising number of Geico Gecko ads. How many? Literally hours worth of footage. How do I know this? Because I spent the past several days watching and dissecting all of them. Or at least all the ones I could find. This was originally going to be part of a video in which I analyzed the power sets of all the iconic insurance mascots to determine who would win in a fight. Not only did I quickly realize that that would be kind of a boring video, since most of them are either ordinary people or, in the case of Limo Emu, a literal emu. But I unearthed something that is far more interesting, which is the lore behind the Geico Gecko. The best way to approach this topic is through the Geico Gecko iceberg which I created. Let's start with the most rudimentary, civilian level interpretation of Geico Gecko, which is that he's a gecko who sells Geico insurance. In particular, he has a knack for traveling the country and spreading the word about how Geico insurance can save people hundreds of dollars on car insurance. We have probably all heard the saying,
15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
This saying of his, and presumably the large amount of money he saved people on car insurance, has made him incredibly well known around the world. There is even an ad where it suggests he's having dinner with the Queen.
Of course, you got a decision to make, ain't you? Eh? Do I buy online, over the phone, or just pop by the local Geico office? It's not a bad position to be in, really. It's like, I don't know, the Queen wants to know whether you'd rather have dinner at the palace or the castle. Either way, you're having filet mignon.
Apart from that, there really isn't much else to say about that tier of the iceberg. Moving on to the second tier, we learn that there is more than one gecko. Now, it is unclear whether or not the gecko we see going around promoting Geico insurance in most of the ads is the same gecko or multiple. But this is for sure. There is more than one talking sentient geckos in the Geico ad universe. This is demonstrated by this ad.
Are you ready for your talk, sir?
Just going over how Geico helps people save in even more ways. With good driver discounts, multi-car discounts, defensive driver discounts.
You! Oh, don't act like you don't recognize me. Toledo? 03?
No, it's...
It's too late, Stanley.
Actually, miss, my name's not Stanley.
Oh. Oh, I am so sorry. From behind you look just like him. I'm just...
Well, I'd hate to be Stanley.
This ad struck me as kind of odd when I first saw it. Why did they make it? What purpose does it serve? The punchline seems really forced and contrived for it to be no more than a C-tier joke. And who else would look like Geico Gecko from the back if there wasn't another gecko? A similar situation happens in this ad.
Oh, great presentation, Tim. Could you email me the part about Geico, making it easy to switch and save hundreds?
Oh, yeah, sure.
You don't know my name, do you?
Of course I know your name. I just get you mixed up with the other guy. What's his name? What's your name?
Switch to Geico. You could save 15% or more on car insurance.
Now, the punchline of this ad can be more easily written off as a joke. However, it could imply that there are more than one gecko that works at Geico Insurance. But by far, the biggest piece of evidence that there is more than one gecko comes in one of the very earliest Geico ads.
This is my final plea. I am a gecko, not to be confused with Geico, which could save you hundreds on car insurance. So stop calling me.
Not only does this gecko have a distinctly different voice from the gecko we usually see in the Geico ads, but this one seems disinterested in selling Geico insurance and simply wants people to stop calling him by getting his name mixed up with Geico. Also, this ad creates a continuity error with a later ad in which it shows us that the Geico Gecko was interested in promoting and selling Geico car insurance from a very young age.
You know, he'd come to my home for summers. When it came to helping people, the gecko was born ready. And his parents argued with me. They wanted him to become a doctor. I said, no, he wants to do insurance and he's good at it.
Well, sure, he's the Geico Gecko, but I mean, he's my best friend. Like, even back in grade school, while others played house, he protected it.
Hey, slow down! Geico helps find the right coverage for your car and home.
You're not my dad.
From cars to home to pets, it's easy to Geico.
So we are clearly seeing 2 or 3 distinct geckos here, or perhaps this gecko is Stanley. Now you might be like, of course there's more than one gecko on Earth. There's over 1,500 gecko species on Earth. But the Geico ads clearly differentiate between the talking animated geckos and real life geckos. This is demonstrated in the mini ads in which we see the Geico Gecko talking to a real gecko.
Hey, check this, right? 3 million drivers switched to Geico last year, yeah? I'm telling you this. Why? Well, because I want you to help spread the word. Bloke hears that number, he's quite impressed. He's like, 3 million? That's a lot of people. Why wasn't I invited? Then you're like, of course you're invited. So he stops by geico.com and he gets his free rate quote. Okay, sure, all right, it's not a real party, it's a website, but at least now the fella's done his own work.
Now this raises an important question. If he's not a normal gecko, then what is he? Why does he look animated? Why are there more than one of him? Well, there's an answer to all of these, and it is, he is a toy. Yes, you heard me correctly. The Geico Gecko or Geico Geckos are living, talking toys. And if you think that sounds a lot like Toy Story, that is because there's actually a lot of evidence to suggest that the Geico Gecko ad universe exists in the same universe as the Toy Story movies. It all begins with this ad.
I am full design. I will destroy you with my plasma ray.
You are wrong, Zoid. Your ray is no match for Lord Gorlock.
Excuse me? Did you know that Geico settles many car insurance claims in 48 hours or less?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Impressive, Green One.
Not only does this ad literally show 2 toys come to life and start interacting with each other, but pay attention to the gecko's entrance.
Excuse me? Did you know that Geico settles many car insurance claims in 48 hours or less?
He doesn't just walk into the room, but he starts out as a toy himself. He even has his own specialty stand, like a bobblehead would, ruling out the possibility that he was just standing there posing as a toy. This is why he looks animated. Just like the toys in Toy Story retain their toy-like appearance when they're walking around talking to each other, so does the Geico Gecko. But this is not the only ad that suggests that toys can come to life in the Geico ad universe. Watch this promo for Avengers Infinity War.
There was an idea to bring together a group of remarkable people to help save the universe from paying too much on their car insurance.
Hey, there's cake in the break room. What are you doing?
Nothing.
Not only is the Geico Gecko literally talking to toys, but you can see the silhouettes of the toys move before the lights come on. And once the lights do come on and a person walks in the room, you see the toys freeze, just like in Toy Story. Now watch this ad.
Well, that's the thing about claims, you see. They don't happen on your schedule. I mean, take a chestnut. It doesn't just say, oh, beg pardon, sir, but is now a good time for a jolly bit of window cracking? I mean, if they did, you wouldn't need a Geico claims team that's available 24/7. Well, near as I can tell, chestnuts don't talk. Or maybe they're just really quiet.
Geico. Your claims team is here for you 24/7.
Well, got things to do, Mr. Chestnut, so...
We see him question whether or not a chestnut might be able to talk, but just with a super quiet voice. Is that not the kind of naive opinion that someone who used to be an inanimate object themselves might think? We see in the Toy Story movies that the toys are capable of talking and moving around in the presence of humans, they just choose not to. So that's probably what's going on with the Geico Gecko. He is just one of the few toys who does not follow the rules for the sake of selling insurance. Toys are seldom made in singularity. Even with rare collector's items, there are usually multiple made. So that's what we're seeing with the Geico Gecko, and that is why there are multiple of him. Stanley, the Geico Gecko, and the one we see in the earlier ads all represent duplicates of the same toy. Now this is where the lore gets mysterious and potentially sinister. If some of the toys in the Geico-verse can come to life, then it's not a huge logical leap to say that they all can. Even if they can't, we at least know that bobbleheads or bobblehead-like figures can, because that was the kind of toy we saw the Geico Gecko originate as. That is an important detail because pay attention to this next ad.
Our breakout session is going to be great. Got the Gecko t-shirt, 4 million drivers switched. Gecko water bottle, notebook, chamois.
Sir, I feel a little bit uncomfortable with all this. I mean, it's not about me. Should it be about how Geico's the third largest car insurance company in the nation? Things like that.
Oh, of course. We're not going to get carried away.
Yeah, all right. As long as we don't overdo it.
In that ad, we are shown a table covered in Geico Gecko bobbleheads. Presumably, all of those bobbleheads are going to come to life, just like the main Geico Gecko did. So if the Geico company knows that the Geico Gecko is a toy, then it will imply that they're actively trying to create more of him. Why? Now, unfortunately, this is where the lore trail runs cold. Perhaps more ads need to be made, perhaps I need to do more digging. But for right now, I cannot really determine why Geico is trying to create a miniature army of Geico Geckos. Now this is where you, my viewers, can help. If you have any suggestions where I could look further for more evidence, or have any leads, leave a comment, or DM me on Instagram, or send me an email. And if I gather enough evidence to make a part 2 of this video in which I dive deeper into the lore and expand upon it, I will and give you a shout out in that video. In the meantime, thanks for watching. The people who consistently watch my videos are maybe small in number, but you guys mean the world to me, and I love every single one of you.